Hi, my name is Amish Agarwal. I'm an advocate practicing in Delhi, and I will be talking about why in India it is a punishable offense if you make a false promise of marriage and on the basis of that sexual intercourse takes place. Now, we all have heard about what is the definition of rape. At least we have a loose sense of what is rape. Basically, anything in which there is no consent is rape. We all know about the Nirbhaya case. We all know about the Hyderabad gang rape case. We all know about strangers forcing themselves on a woman. We all also know about family, friends, relatives forcing themselves on a woman. Basically, wherever there is no consent, there is rape. However, in India, there is this additional situation where even though there might be consent, the law, the jurisprudence of the land still considers it to be rape, and it is in this particular situation. Women in India, being a conservative nation, to a good extent were opposed to premarital sex. The past couple of decades, the whole concept of dating and relationships before marriage emerged, in which a lot of women said that we do not wish to engage in sexual activity before marriage. And in these kind of situations, a lot of times the man would tell his girlfriend or his fiance that we are about to get married in a few days, months, years anyways, so we might as well proceed with it and I see no harm. On the basis of which the woman would consent to such sexual intercourse. Now, if the consent was obtained on the false promise of marriage, that we are going to get married and that is why we can do it. But if it later turns out that it was a false promise, that there was no intention, and especially in situations where the man was perhaps already married, so he knew that there is no possibility of him marrying this person, in all of these circumstances, the courts of India said that Section 375 of the IPC says that sexual intercourse without the consent of a woman amounts to rape. Section 376, of course, talks about the punishment for rape. But the courts of India said that we will read Section 375 with Section 90 of the Indian Penal Code as well. Section 90 says that any consent obtained under a misconception of fact and due to that misconception of fact, it shall be considered that it was no consent. So the courts of India said that even if consent was obtained by the woman, if that consent was given with a misconception that marriage is going to happen, and on the basis of that fact, the consent was given. Courts say that if there is a situation like this, you will be punished under Section 375. You fall under the ambit of Section 375 and you will be punished under 376 IPC. These provisions were very, very important for the protection of women, especially from not so well-to-do backgrounds across the country. However, there has been a lot of misuse of this provision as well, where angry girlfriends or fiancés also invoke this particular provision to file a false rape case against the boyfriend or former fiancé, as the case may be. In such a circumstance, it is very, very difficult for the person to get anticipatory bail. It is very difficult for the person to get regular bail, to get released from custody. And therefore, the person must go to court and establish either of these two ingredients. One, that there was no promise of marriage on the basis of which sexual intercourse took place, and that the sexual intercourse took place perhaps prior to the conversation or the talk or the promise about marriage. Or in the alternative, the other thing that the person must convince the court of would be that there was indeed a promised to marry and there was an intention to marry, but however, due to a supervening circumstance, the marriage could not take place. And it is only in these two situations, usually, unless it's a completely, there was no perhaps a relationship at all, and it was a completely made up case. Apart from situations like those, these are the two good defenses that are available, especially if you are falsely accused by, say, your wife or your, sorry, not your wife, say your girlfriend or your fiance or some other woman with whom you've had a romantic liaison. Now, if you're a woman who is a victim of such a situation, it is very, very important that you immediately go to the police as soon as you discover this fraud that has been played upon you. Because if there is any delay on your part, it almost completely ensures an acquittal for the accused person. And I have also seen on several occasions, not just women, not just men, every single person, no matter what gender, faces an issue when it comes to reporting an offense to the police. The police will give all sorts of excuses such as यहाँ पे jurisdiction नहीं बनता, you go to some other police station or you report it to some other organization or some NGO, or you go and refer it to your organization if it's sexual harassment, or if if they do take your complaint, they'll say we'll investigate, we'll inquire into the matter, but we'll not register an FIR anytime soon. You as the victim should know about section 166A of the Indian Penal Code, which says that a police officer who gets information about an offense of rape in this kind of a situation, he must register the FIR immediately, and if he does not do so, it's a punishable offense under section 166A of the Indian Penal Code, and the said police personnel can also be punished from anywhere between 6 months to 2 years. So if you're a victim, the police don't do anything, you tell them this, and if they still don't do anything, then you approach the court under section 156 clause 3 of the Criminal Procedure Code, you file the complaint, the magistrate will direct the police to conduct the investigation, and you should also agitate the same issue before the magistrate of section 166A as well. Now, coming back to the accused person, because of what I just said a little earlier, it is even more imperative for you to ensure that you definitely apply for anticipatory bail as soon as possible when faced in a situation like this, because more often than not, the police will register the FIR because of that news of section 166A hanging over their heads. And because of this, it is imperative that you go to the court with all the proof, with all your evidence that you have in your favor, which shows that you are innocent, and either of the two scenarios, either that there was no promise or that sexual intercourse took prior to the promise, or that there was indeed a promise and there was an intention, but because of supervening circumstances, you were not able to do so. And if you're able to get bail successfully, in all likelihood, using the same evidence, you can get an acquittal at trial as well. But first and foremost, if you do not get bail, fighting your case from behind the bars is going to be extremely difficult. That's it for today. If you like this video, please press the thumbs up button and subscribe to the channel as well. Thank you.